How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Start on just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the star shines bright, that's where we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Happy Friday to each and every one of y'all. If you're out at work getting that paycheck, make sure you get that paycheck so you can enjoy the rest of the weekend. Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and Cowboys Nation are up in arms about the narrative that was cooked up from the 3 and 4 letter networks. They're pissed off that the narrative would even be spoken about, Cowboys Nation. The narrative that calls for the Dallas Cowboys to tag and trade George Pickens in exchange for Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders. So, Cowboys Nation, we're going to dive into that a little bit during this episode, and I'm going to give my thoughts about the narrative and how the 3 and 4 letter networks have Cowboys Nation pretty much in another civil war in the fan base. So let's get into that during this Raw and Uncut. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, Raw and Uncut.
Keeping it real, man. Keep it real. That's real.
For the first time in a long time, the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys have been a little quiet, don't you think, Cowboys Nation? There's not been much coming out of the building to keep us in the know when it comes to George Pickens' contract situation or the franchise tag from the Dallas Cowboys themselves. It's got a lot of talking heads throwing chum into the water to get the Sharks to go crazy over it. And by all means, they did just that. You know, it's pretty sad when you can remember the date that a narrative began being tossed around the media when it grew legs and it started running rampant around Cowboys Nation. The whole tag and trade scenario was first pushed by pre-Super Bowl analysis from Adam Schefter. So you know that Get Up and First Take, they're going to be talking about it, Cowboys Nation. Hearing 105.3 The Fan talk about it now. The flagship radio station for the Dallas Cowboys. The cat's out of the bag when it comes to this whole tag and trade narrative, Cowboys Nation. Now, it must be talked about and debunked by the fans, and most importantly, by the Dallas Cowboys organization. Now it's sparked a debate within Cowboys Nation. Should the Dallas Cowboys consider trading and tagging George Pickens to help bolster the defense? Pretty much making George Pickens be the one to fall on the sword for the Dallas Cowboys to bring a heavy-hitting defensive name to the star like Max Crosby. But I'm going to keep it a buck. I understand the thinking when it comes to the whole tag and trade scenario, but I honestly don't want that to happen in this situation, especially after seeing evidence of being the team with the most salary cap after reconstructions take place, Cowboys Nation. The Dallas Cowboys actually would have money for more quality players to be acquired in free agency. And I understand that we're not spending all the available cap dollars that we have right now on free agency, but I would like to see more moves being made. I would like to see more aggression at the start of free agency. I'd like to see Jerry and Stephen Jones bust the bank like Jerry Jones has been talking about. But the funny thing is, this one, it's the first time the narrative hasn't come out of the star. It's not Jerry Jones in front of the media or in front of the camera saying, well, there's this tag and trade scenario that we've been talking about. All that's been coming out of the building is how much they love George Pickens, how much they love what George Pickens brought to the team, and how they do have the salary cap to extend him. Where I get confused is the fact that we asked for this, Cowboys Nation. We asked for somebody to be able to help CeeDee Lamb on the other side. Jerry Jones goes out and he trades for George Pickens. Now that George Pickens balls out, we want to use him as collateral for a trade for someone on the defensive side of the ball? The media then crafted the story that had the Dallas Cowboys trade George Pickens to the Las Vegas Raiders for Max Crosby. Another story covering the Dallas Cowboys getting rid of George Pickens. It now has Cowboys Nation thinking about it and making content about it because it could shake up the very core of the offensive side of the ball. There's no secret that the Dallas Cowboys are missing a pass rusher that can continuously get after the quarterback. Ever since Micah Parsons was traded to the Green Bay Packers, the Dallas Cowboys have been missing that 12.5 sacks a year and those quarterback pressures. I know how important to the defense it is, but I also know how important Pickens is to the offensive side of the ball. For years, Cowboys Nation has lived on the edge when it came to the wide receiver core. It became a running joke that we were one twisted ankle away from being ass at the wide receiver position, where all defenses had to do was just double team CeeDee Lamb and the offense would continuously stumble. It was a breath of fresh air for CeeDee Lamb to get injured, and we didn't have to worry about the wide receiver one position like we did in years past. Pickens took it over, and he balled out. But I also get the side that's preparing for a potential trade of George Pickens. I get it when Chad Ochocinco speaks about the Dallas Cowboys being the Cincinnati Bengals of the NFC East. There is a delicate balance when it comes to the offensive and defensive spending for the Dallas Cowboys, having one side that's very top-heavy while the other side is completely lacking, Cowboys Nation. But I feel that last year was who we had at the defensive coordinator position. The lack of communication on and off the field when it came to the players and the coaches. Players didn't have a say when it came to what the Dallas Cowboys could do to make that side of the ball better. Point blank, the Dallas Cowboys defense didn't have a teacher or a coach to coach these guys up, and I believe that they do this year. Will that be the end-all be-all, Cowboys Nation? No. The Dallas Cowboys still need a pass rusher that can continuously get after the quarterback. Does that have to be in a Max Crosby? Does that have to come in the form of a Max Crosby trade? Or can a different pass rusher be acquired through free agency? Why can't the Dallas Cowboys try to add Max Crosby to the team without giving such a prolific player on the offensive side of the ball away? But if you didn't know, Cowboys Nation, I am completely against the tag and trade scenario. I won't say that it's a Dallas Cowboys narrative because it didn't come from the Dallas Cowboys building. I just don't see addition by subtraction working in this scenario. Sure, we get more sacks and more pressures on the quarterback, but your offense is in a place that you saw it in 2024, and we're out there spamming Lamb. Remember that whole hashtag spam Lamb? And another thing I don't get is the whole doom and gloom scenario if the Dallas Cowboys don't go out and trade or acquire through free agency the top names in the NFL. It didn't just happen this year, Cowboys Nation. I remember when the whole Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley free agency sweepstakes happened and the Dallas Cowboys didn't call to inquire about those players. They instead stuck with Rico Dowdle and drafted a 5th-round running back. There were so many Cowboys fans who thought the world was going to end if we didn't acquire one of those running backs. Or how about the head coaching search, Cowboys Nation? It was either the biggest names or the Dallas Cowboys were doomed. Names like Deion Sanders, Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, and so on. When we settled for Brian Schottenheimer, those fans thought the team was doomed. They thought that we wouldn't get anywhere under Brian Schottenheimer. Come to find out, Schotty would have the offense in the top 5 throughout the 2025 season. But Cowboys Nation, I truly believe that we can extend George Pickens and go shopping in free agency or the draft to get the pieces that we need on the defensive side of the ball. Aim to get a premier pass rusher through free agency like a Trey Hendrickson or a Hassan Reddick. Or you could give Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa a cup of coffee. There could be a couple of trades that could happen without giving up such a vital asset on the offensive side of the ball. Also, at the same time, why not go for both of them? Why not try to extend George Pickens while giving up your first-round draft picks for Max Crosby? The closer we get to the 2026 NFL Draft, the more rational that trade could become for the Las Vegas Raiders. Just imagine not giving up a dynamic wide receiver while picking up such a dynamic defensive player like Max Crosby. For the Raiders, who are in rebuild mode, I might add, you have number 1 in the draft for your future quarterback, number 12, and number 20 to help in that rebuild, and I believe it's a no-brainer for them not to take this offer. They could get their future wide receiver at number 12 and a crucial defensive piece at number 20. If you don't want to give up both of your first-round draft picks, try giving up number 12 and a player. If that doesn't work, I would have no problem giving up both first-round picks and sitting out to the 5th round to go hunting for depth pieces. There is not one defensive player coming out of this draft that would give you first-year production like a Max Crosby would for the Dallas Cowboys. So there is a way to have your cake and eat it too, Cowboys Nation. There is a way for both Pickens and Max Crosby to be on this team. You just got to be willing to make it happen. You got to be willing to give up those first-round picks. But will Cowboys Nation be willing to give up those first-round picks for Max Crosby? Because if they are, that would be the all-in type of move that Jerry Jones has been speaking about for years. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, what do you think about my thoughts on the whole tag and trade scenario? Do you see that there's a way to have both players on the team if Jerry and Stephen Jones want to be aggressive enough? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comments section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel reach its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video, share it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device and you haven't used them up yet, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help get this content out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans. They'll come over to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel and become Angry Cowboys fans themselves. And if you are DC for life and you want both Max Crosby and George Pickens to be on this 2026 Dallas Cowboys roster, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release another video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch the Madden 26 and College Football 26 gameplay on my other channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll make sure I put the link to that as well as my gamer tag in the description. You want this smoke? Come get it. But Cowboys Nation, if we were to add Max Crosby to the defense while keeping George Pickens on the offense, what team would be a threat to the Dallas Cowboys making a deep playoff run? Now that we have a defensive back-centric defensive coordinator, the cornerbacks that we have on this team can get their chance to thrive. We would have someone who could get after the quarterback while also helping stop the run, and the offense would continue to put 35 points up on the board every single week. This is a no-brainer, Cowboys Nation. Let's throw caution to the wind and finally go all in. Bars. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Happy Friday, y'all. And I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.